Okay, today we're going to go over making some AAMKs, assembly area mat kits. Here's a stack of them right now, getting ready to ship. To make them, you overlay the stencil on top of the back portion of the black come off the stencil. It's nice and radiused on the edges. The plastic piece is still put on. What we do is we go ahead and assemble the snap, just like in the directions. That goes on. There's a hole punch in both this side and this side of the mat in case they decide to move it around. It's put in with some punch pliers that are like that, and it just takes a screwdriver to put that in. We have our nifty ground cord assemblies, which you can see the instructions for placing the snap on the mat right on there. It's snapped on in place. The wrist strap is plugged into that. And now we're going to go ahead and run some testing on it. Okay. First we're going to do a point-to-point test with one electrode on one side of the mat and the other electrode on the opposite end of the mat. Going to hit the test button. We're going to take a look at the readings we get on this material. It's coming in at 7.68 EO7 at 35.2% relative humidity and 63.7 degrees Fahrenheit. That's marked down on your certification form, like so. Now we're going to test the mat for resistance to ground. We put an electrode on one end of it, and the ground cord is hooked to the snap fastener,
which is also coming out of the bag.
Okay, that's sticking out of the bag. So we're running a charge through that weight, through that ground cord that is attached to the mat, and we're taking our readings, and you'll see they come in at 4.18 EO7 at 35.3% relative humidity and 63.3 degrees Fahrenheit. As long as the mat comes in below 10 to the 9th, you're compliant. It's filled in on the report like this, okay?
Order number, number of mat.
The date that it was tested, average readings point to point along with relative humidity and temperature, electrical resistance to the ground termination. We're also going to add a third part, which is going to be a test where we test the wrist straps. That'll come up next. On the back of the mats, you'll see a little thing where it actually has the date that it was tested along with the code. Okay, the calibration date. That's also listed on the paperwork, the certificate of compliance.
That's the meter number.
And that's the meter number that's on there. The 10248 is?
That's the customer number.
That's the customer number.
The shopping cart number.
The shopping cart is the SC number.
And then the dash is the number of mat.
Okay, in the future ones, what I'd like to do too is also test the wrist strap in conjunction with the mat. Scott's putting on a wrist strap, okay, and you can see it's plugged in over here to the common point ground. The megger is grounded over here. Okay, that lead goes to ground. So what we're doing is we're sending a charge through Scott's hand here. It's going through his body mass. It's going into his wrist strap, going down to the mat, and then going to AC electrical ground where the meter's plugged in. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and take a reading. He's going to push the button, and we're going to see what he's got. As you can see, it's saying 1.19 EO6.